Greetings. It is now 7 o'clock. I would like to call the Rockdale County Board of Education regular session to order. Board Chair Jackson Lett is participating virtually. Let's extend a warm welcome to Dr. Tiana Holmes, principal of Flat Shoals Elementary School, as she introduced some outstanding fifth graders who will serve as our inspiration message, who will give our inspirational message. I also request that after delivering their message, that our scholars will remain with us to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, Madam Chairwoman Jackson Lett, virtually, Vice Chairwoman Janie Jones, Superintendent Chesser, distinguished board members, cabinet members, and guests. We bring you greetings and an inspiration from Flat Shoals Elementary School. I am Dr. Tiana Holmes, the proud principal of Flat Shoals, and I am honored to present the four girls of inspiration.
Good evening. The title of our poem that we will be reciting to you guys is Her Story, Our Story.
We celebrate, we stand so tall, women's history, we know it all.
March is here, a special time to honor women bold and prime. From past to present, they've paved the way, showing us courage every day. Like Susan B. Anthony, who fought for rights, and Amelia Earhart, who soared new heights. With every step, these women knew they could change the world when we pursue.
We celebrate, we stand so tall, women's history, we know it all.
From leaders, teachers, and brave pioneers, their broken barriers throughout the years. Rosa Parks and Mary Curie, so many stories full of bravery. Harriet Tubman led the way, designing memorials a lasting place. Mary Lynn built with art and grace, designing memorials a lasting place.
We celebrate, we stand so tall, women's history, we know it all.
Think of the artists, the writers, the singers, whose voices and talent touch many fingers. Maya Angelou and Frida Kahlo, too, showed us all what women can do. Eleanor Roosevelt, bold and bright, fighting for justice, leading with might. Helen Keller, who could not see, showed us all about bravery.
We celebrate, we stand so tall, women's history, we know it all.
Now it's our turn to make some noise, to chase our dreams, to find our voice. The future is ours. We'll lead the way as women of strength every day. Like Malala Yousafzai standing strong, teaching the world that we all belong. Like Serena Williams on the court, she's supreme, showing us that hard work can fulfill a dream.
We celebrate, we stand so tall, women's history, we know it all.
All right.
We will now be leading you guys in the Pledge of Allegiance, so please stand.
We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may now be seated. Thank you.
Thank you, scholars. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved, Justin.
Second.
A motion to approve the agenda as presented has been made by Justin and second by Heather. Is there any discussion? All in favor? The motion is approved by a vote of, did we see Ms. Jackson let vote? 7-1. I am delighted to extend a warm welcome to Dr. O.G. Dennis, who will be highlighting the accomplishments of the staff and students at Rockdale County High School.
Good evening, Chairwoman Jackson Lett, who was virtual. Good evening, Janie Jones, Vice Chairwoman. And good evening, Superintendent Shirley Chesser, and cabinet and distinguished board members and family and guests. This evening, I have the distinct honor in highlighting and discussing the multi-tiered student support system that has helped us with student achievement and making positive student outcomes and monitoring student successes. So with me this evening, I have two administrators who are instrumental in ensuring that all students we look at it holistically and providing support and moving the school forward.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we always start with the data. We wanted to see where we were and so that we could have robust conversations about where we needed to be to shift our students. So what you see are the areas for CCRPI, content mastery, readiness, closing gaps, progress, and grad rate. And the only area we went down in last year was closing gaps. So that was an area we really wanted to focus on for this school year. As far as our milestones, we went up from 2023 to 2024 in each area, and you see our targets listed, in the right-hand column where we plan to be this school year.
Also, we focus on our attendance as well. Right now, our attendance is at 92.58%, which is a little less than our goal, but we have put some structures in place, such as our attendance support team, social worker who supports us as well, the counseling department, parent contact, attendance and tardy contracts, and then we also have grade level meetings where they review the data as well.
This is a look at our behavior from last school year to this school year. We were intentional about shifts we made to our buildings to assist in decreasing occurrences of student behavior. So as you can see from last year, we've gone down from 205 incidences to 154. And the number of students has also decreased for in-school suspension as well as out-of-school suspensions has decreased significantly for us this school year. So we often, when we have our discussions, as one of the other assistant principals, Mr. Banyard, say, we always talk about what our wonders are. So our wonders were, what do we need to do to support our students so that we could definitely tackle the decrease we had in closing gaps, and how can we maximize the reach to all of our students? We have quite a few students in our building, so we wanted to make sure that we were able to touch them as best we could and meet them where they were.
So to assist in closing the achievement gaps and improving our failure rates, the SSA was born last year. We first started with just after school tutorial, and this year it has grown to some other components, but SSA is designed to provide targeted academic support to our students with focus sessions in all subject areas, and it actually helps to promote our student growth in our building. And one of the ways, particularly how we target our students who participate in our Student Success Academy. Students are identified by our EWS data, which is our early warning system data, which focuses on our ABCs, which is attendance, behavior, and grades. We also use school-wide data such as STAR, SLDS, interims, common formative assessments, teacher, parent, counselor recommendations as well. And we proactively use the data for our at-promise students who are at risk of failing. And we just use that data. Part of our SSA as well, we did provide food for our students, meals, snacks, dinner for our students. We provided transportation for our students to make sure that they were able to stay after school, to make it convenient for them and flexible. We also provided virtual sessions as well for some of the students who work or who are athletes, as well as some students who have to attend after-school appointments.
So for this year, we grew from the infancy stage to the toddler stage. So we still have our after-school tutorial component. Milestone Mania now falls up under SSA for us. We have our credit recovery, not just in the spring, but credit recovery covers our holiday ham, which we'll talk about a little bit later, intercession, weekend, and virtual. Our WIN Saturday school and mass, making athletes successful students.
Our tutorial support is one-on-one instruction. We have certified educators there. We have peer tutors there as well. And it's one-on-one instruction with our students. Students can come with homework assignments. Teachers can work with them at that time. Peer tutors that are there, sometimes their peers help them to understand better. So the peer tutors are there to assist. It's targeted support to help with our subgroups, with language proficiency as well, and offer flexible sessions as well, as I mentioned earlier.
So these are just two pictures where students are receiving support in literature as well as math.
We also have tutorials that are focused in students' language, such as French and Spanish. This is Mr. John Francois, who works with our students in reading, math, and writing as well. He actually works in person, and he actually has an online virtual session as well with some of our students who are unable to stay after school.
So Milestone Mania focuses on the 4 areas where we have milestones: biology, algebra, U.S. history, as well as American literature. And we try to make it as interactive with the students as possible. We focus on our bubble students, which are students we're trying to shift from one level to another, but all students are welcome in Milestone Mania. Through credit recovery, we have students who need to recover some credits so that they will be able to help us with our graduation rate and graduate on time. And so we offer these opportunities. And again, we're flexible because we have students that work after school. We have students that work on weekends. So we try to provide so many different options for them, and they can select the one that works best. So Holiday Ham was Holiday Hustle and Academic Muscle. And a lot of students signed up for that because they were able to recover some credits over the break. We have virtual for the students who are unable because of transportation reasons to stay after school. Weekend credit recovery for the students who work during the week but are able to come to the school on the weekends to recover credits. So we just try to be as flexible and meet our kids where they are.
Our Saturday school is What I Need, which is WIN Saturday Academy. Students are able to come on Saturdays, one Saturday a month, to make up assignments. That helps them. They come in, they meet with our certified educators as well as peer tutors and work on assignments one-on-one. They're able to come in on those Saturdays, get up early in the morning. There's a long line outside coming in. We have a really good group of students that they'll get up and they'll come in. Our teachers dedicate their time on the weekend to come work with our students as well. And it's just mainly to focus on making up those missing assignments to help support the failure rate. We do have our teachers, every 4.5 weeks, they compile their data to have a grade distribution so they can see where their grades are falling in each of their classes to help support, to identify those students who need to come in as well. And here are some of our esteemed educators who are that come in and support on the weekends. We have math, We have all subject areas there. They are a collective group that come every single session.
And our next initiative was making athletes successful students, which was an initiative our principal instituted, and is specifically for our student athletes, so they're able to come in and get assistance prior to going to practice, and athletes are able to participate in this whether they're in season or out of season. So we have one-on-one support with our athletes. We also have, again, peer tutorials, so they're able to help each other, and whole group instruction that occurs during mass.
And this just shows some of our participation so far this year. All of this is fluid. These numbers change. Right now, after school tutorial, we have students who are still signing up for that, as well as Milestone Mania. We have credit recovery sessions that's starting Monday. Our most popular of all of our interventions is Win Saturday School, which is surprising that students come on a Saturday. And then also we have mass.
So as a collective admin team, we just wanted to make sure that we were there for our students and we wrapped our arms around them the best way we could to provide whatever supports are needed. We want to see all of our kids succeed. We want to see them all graduate on time. And we just wanted to make sure that they know we're there for them in all capacities.
Absolutely.
Are there any questions?
Okay.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we will have Ms. Kim and Dr. Smith Dixon, who will recognize and celebrate our scholars and staff. Board members, please join me, and Ms. Chesser also join me. So I should have said board members and Ms. Chesser, join me. We're going to do proclamation.
Good evening, Chairwoman Jackson-Lett, virtually, Vice Chair Jones, board members, Superintendent Chesser, cabinet, and guests. Before we get started with the recognitions, I'm going to read a little bit about March being National Art, Dance, Music, and Theater in Our Schools Month. And we, in honor of this month, I will read the superintendent's endorsement of the fine arts in our schools. It reads, whereas art, dance, music, theater education is a viable academic endeavor and contributes educational benefits to all elementary and secondary students, including the following. Fine arts education develops students' creative problem solving and critical thinking abilities. Fine arts education teaches sensitivity to beauty, order, and other expressive qualities. Fine arts education gives students a deeper understanding of multicultural values and beliefs, and fine arts education reinforces and brings to life what students learn in other subjects. Whereas our national leaders have acknowledged the necessity of including fine arts experiences in all student education, and whereas March is officially recognized as Youth Art, Dance, Music, and Theater Month, and Rockdale County Public Schools endorses this observance and encourages the support of quality school fine arts programs for all children and youth. We also want to express our gratitude to all our art, dance, music, theater, faculty, and staff who share their talents with our students so they can learn, grow, and thrive in all aspects of the fine arts. Let's give them a round of applause. So first up, we have our Youth Art Month flag winner. And Tommy, do you have that display? To promote Youth Art Month, the Council for Art Education coordinates youth Art Month activities at the national level. The primary event is the State Flag Program. Using the national or state theme, each state coordinates a flag design contest with a winning design made into a flag for display in the Youth Art Month Museum at the National Art Education Association Annual National Convention. This year's winner is from Heritage High School, and her artwork will be made into a flag and displayed at the National Convention held in Kentucky later this week. Congratulations to Kaylee Williams. Kaylee could not join us today, but congratulations. Next, we have our Capital Art Exhibit winners. So the Capital Art Exhibit is a celebrated annual event that showcases creativity and talent of students in Georgia and coinciding with National Youth Art Month. With over 50 years of tradition established by the Georgia Art Education Association, this exhibition has evolved from its origins under the iconic Gold Dome to the larger Twin Towers building, accommodating the growing numbers of participants. As the largest statewide art exhibition for students ranging from pre-K to college age, this exhibit provides a unique platform for young artists to share their work with the community. This event not only highlights the artistic achievements of Georgia's youth, but also reinforces the importance of art in our schools and society. Tonight, we recognize 16 students whose artwork was selected for this exhibit, which was held last week with a reception last Wednesday for exhibitors. So first, from Honey Creek Elementary, Elijah Gober. Also from Honey Creek Elementary, Journey Mosley. From Lorraine Elementary, and if you can wait up here and we will take a group picture with everybody at the end. And from Lorraine Elementary, Paris, Beth. From Lorraine Elementary, Christine Clark. From Conyers Middle School, Kylie Bolton. From Conyers Middle School, Alex Travieso. From General Ray Davis, Destiny Donald. From General Ray Davis, Eleda Ponce Hernandez. From Heritage High School, Michelle Aguilar. From Heritage High School, Alani Pullen. From Heritage High School, Brianna Davis. And from Heritage High School, Brianna Strong. From Rockdale County High School, Allison Hewen. From Rockdale County High School, Jacqueline Sumrall. From Salem High School, Joshua Kabwe. From Salem High School, Tayton Moore. Right there. Right. You can have a few more up. This one, and then the newspaper Rockdale Citizen is here. All right. Feeling good? Some parents, you're welcome to come and take pictures too. All right, congratulations. And now moving on to our literary arts. The Helen Ruffin Reading Bowl. Mrs. Helen Ruffin was a dynamic and innovative library media specialist in DeKalb County, and she created a unique reading competition in 1986. It was called the Reading Bowl, and in a competitive game format, it questioned students about the content of 20 Georgia Book Award nominees each year. The Georgia Helen Ruffin Reading Bowl is now open to students in grades 4 through 12 across the state. All school districts in Georgia are divided into one of 6 regions. Elementary and middle school students read and are quizzed on the 20 Georgia Book Award nominees, while high school students read and are quizzed on the 20 Georgia Peach Teen Book Award nominees, and the books change every year. During these last few years, over 600 schools throughout Georgia have held competitions at the local school district level and have registered regional competitions. Tonight, we celebrate the accomplishments of Barksdale Elementary Reading Bowl team, which won 2nd place in our district and participated in the region, and the Lorraine Elementary team that won 1st place in the district and went on to win 3rd place in the region. We will begin with the Barksdale Elementary team, again 2nd place in the district and region participants. From Barksdale Elementary, Jordan Allen. Again, please stay at the front and we'll take a group picture at the end. Tyler Amy. Eden Broadus. Gloria Flanagan. Maria Johnson. Channing Morgan. Trice Peyton Thompson. Naomi Remy. Sarah Williams. And our coaches, Coach Tanya Grant and Coach Bridget Head. Congratulations. Paparazzi. Few more parents. Keep smiling, keep smiling. Keep looking forward. All right, congratulations. Woo. Go Barkster. And now, Lorraine Elementary's Helen Ruffin Reading Bowl team, which won first place in the district and third place in the region. Starting with, from Lorraine Elementary, Susanna Hill. Jacob Siebold. Jose Villanueva. Layla Green. Jade Cotter. Nathaniel Shelton. Austin Brown. Carter Bear. And our coaches, Coach Beth Clark and Coach Kayla Hicks. Little more, keep smiling, keep smiling, keep smiling. Moment of glory. All right, congratulations. Our next group, just as excited, are the graduates from the 2023-2024 team cohort. TEAM stands for Training Educators for Athletic Management. This program is specifically designed to give middle and high school coaches, athletic personnel aspiring to be athletic administrators, and current assistant principals a better understanding of RCPS and Georgia High School Association procedures through professional development. The goals are to advance knowledge, improve communication, enhance group leadership skills, boost overall department efficiency, and to promote the benefits of educational-based athletics. The cohort met monthly for a 6-month program focusing on human resources, school operations, financial services, legal issues, and Georgia High School Association athletic guidance. We congratulate the following individuals from the 2023-24 team cohort. From Heritage High School, Athletic Director Dr. Dorian Powell Harris. From General Ray Davis, Coach Johnny Falk. From Memorial Middle School, Coach Shadarius Robinson. From Conyers Middle School, Athletic Director, Coach Mike Davis. From Salem High School, Athletic Director, Coach Nicholas Collins. From Rockdale County High School, Athletic Director, Coach Erwin Akiha. And also from Rockdale County High School, Assistant Athletic Director Tyrone King. And could Dr. Keisha Seabrooks Rouse join us for this picture as well? How you know how your students feel? Before I hand off the remaining recognitions to Dr. Smith-Dixon, I want to circle back and again recognize our Board of Education. Last week, we celebrated Georgia School Board Appreciation Week and recognized our board members for their service. Our board members are remarkable individuals who illuminate the path for countless students, teachers, and families. They navigate complex decisions, ensuring that our schools remain beacons of knowledge and growth. Their commitment to quality education brightens the future for generations to come. To recap their years of service, Chairwoman Sandra Jackson-Lett, 6 years. Vice Chairwoman Janie Jones, 2 years. Pamela J. Brown, 8 years. Heather Duncan, 8 years. Akita Palmer, 4 years. Justin T. Kenny, almost 2 years, very close. Larry Cox, 3 months. Thank you again, board members, for your service. And at this time, I will hand it over to Dr. Smith-Dixon.
So I have one additional exciting acknowledgement for tonight. And this acknowledgement is coming from Superintendent Richard Woods, straight to Acting Superintendent Shirley Chesser. So this letter is intended to recognize the school listed below for their dedication to improving school climate through the implementation of positive behavioral interventions and supports for the 2023-2024 school year. Each year, the Georgia Department of Education recognizes PBIS implementing schools at one of 4 levels: installing, emerging, operational, or distinguished. The Georgia Department of Education shares your pride in your school's accomplishments and dedication to continuous improvement. And Superintendent Richard Woods commended your leadership for providing support to this effort. Congratulations are extended to the following schools for their fidelity of PBIS implementation. So time for the drum roll. Flat Shoals Elementary.
Thank you. Heritage High School. C.J. Hicks Elementary School. Congratulations. Honey Creek Elementary School. Congratulations. Pine Street Elementary School. Congratulations. And last but certainly not least, Sims Elementary School. Congratulations.
We will now take a brief recess to congratulate our scholars and staff. (7:55). I would like to call the meeting back to order. Do we have any visitors? Last week, the board voted to place numerous items At this time, we will have the superintendent's cabinet updates.
Our board members and to those in attendance tonight, we'll begin the superintendent's cabinet updates with an update from our Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Joycelyn Smith.
Good evening, Madam Chair Jackson-Lett, virtually, Vice Chair Jones, remaining board members, Mrs. Chesser, Acting Superintendent, Cabinet, and guests. Tonight, I'll be bringing the final financial report for the month of February. Our revenues were 10.7 for the month. Year to date, we're at 175 million, representing 80.2% of the budget. Our revenues this time last year were 11 million. Year to date, we're at 158.5 million, representing 79.2% of the budget. Expenditures were 17.5 million for February, 143.9 million year to date, representing 64.8% of the budget. This time last year, we were at 16.9 for the month, 139.5 year to date, representing 68% of the budget. Encumbrances were $1,249,756. Our fund balance is $59,733,077. Last year was $55,307,743. On our balance sheet, our assets are $59,733,077. We have cleared our liabilities, and our fund balance again is $59,733,077. That completes my presentation. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Smith. And now I'd like to ask Senator Tanya Anderson to please come up with a special presentation.
Good evening, everyone. To the esteemed board of the Rockdale County Public Schools and to our staff and guests, good evening. I am here to present an award to an outstanding leader. Last month, we celebrated Black History. This month, we're celebrating Women's History. So I'm going to mix those two together and celebrate the Black excellence of a leader woman in Pamela J. Brown. During her time serving as chairwoman of the Rockdale County Board of Education, is this resolution being presented. Whereas Pam J. Brown began her first term on the Rockdale County School Board of Education in January 2017, served as vice chairwoman from January 2021 to December 2022, and has served as chairwoman of the 7-member board since January 2023 until December. Whereas under her leadership as chairwoman, the Rockdale County Board of Education maintained its exemplary board status and earned the Leading Edge Award from the Georgia School Boards Association. And whereas Pamela J. Brown led the board in successfully passing annual budgets, reducing the millage rate, and maintaining the school system's debt-free status. And whereas during her tenure as chairwoman, Rockdale County Public Schools achieved continuous improvement in many areas, including achieving the highest four-year cohort graduation rate of 88.75% and the highest CTAE graduation rate of 99.36%, increasing AP course offerings, AP exam achievement, and the number of AP scholars named, increasing gifted student eligibility and enrollment, showing consistent gains in subject areas and grade levels on the state milestone assessments, all high schools being named AP honor schools, and increasing career paths, course offerings, career pathway, student enrollment, and career pathway completion. And whereas Pamela J. Brown also serves as the Georgia School Boards Association District 4 Director, charged with fostering greater regional collaboration between member boards of education and their respective communities. And whereas Pamela J. Brown is a longtime resident of Rockdale County with deep familial roots and is well known in the community for her broad and varied work, focused on education and community service. Whereas Pamela J. Brown currently works as a transmission analyst for a Southern company with over 37 years of service and holds a Master's of Business Administration degree. Whereas she and her husband, John, are the parents of 3 children who attend or graduated from Rockdale County Public Schools. Whereas Pamela J. Brown has been re-elected to serve her 3rd term on the Rockdale County School Board of Education and will continue to advocate for public education, students, family, faculty, and staff. If you did not see it tonight, I am a super proud senator of the Rockdale County Public Schools because of the work that you've done, because of the work that our parents do, because of the work that our staff, our principals, and our teachers do, but most of all, because of the work that Pamela J. Brown has done. Thank you.
Because I'm proud too. Thank you. I'm other Michelle tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Anderson, and congratulations, Mrs. Brown. I would like to give a brief statement, if you'll allow me, Board. Rockdale County Public Schools is deeply saddened by the loss of one of our students yesterday. This tragic event took place after school hours in Newton County. Grief counselors have been on campus today and will continue to be available for all students, staff, and families as needed. Our thoughts and prayers are with the child's family and with their friends. We continue to work closely with our law enforcement partners in both Newton County and Rockdale County as they investigate this event, which occurred after hours during a non-sanctioned event. At this time, as this is an ongoing investigation, we are unable to share or confirm any further information, but Board, I would like to thank some staff members who were instrumental in providing that support today. Definitely to Dr. Price and his team over at Salem High School, but to Mrs. Fallon and Tanya Cobb, the counselors and the social workers who were there to support the children in this difficult time. So if you could please keep the family in your thoughts and prayers, I'm sure they would appreciate it. And as we continue to talk a little bit about safety and things that are happening, I'd like to invite our Director of Safety to come up. He's going to talk a little bit about a growing trend that we're seeing, but something that we want to proactively tackle together in collaboration with our law enforcement partners.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Good evening, Madam Chairwoman Jackson-Lett, Madam Vice Chair Jones, members of the board. Again, thank you, Superintendent. I apologize for my appearance. I was working with law enforcement and canines all day today, and Superintendent asked me to give a quick presentation, not necessarily from a Rockdale standpoint, but an overall and holistic view of what's going on from coast to coast on vapes and edibles. So one of the things that we're seeing is from the National Youth Tobacco Survey. E-cigarettes is about 5.9% usage amongst students right now, high school students, and that's about 1.8% for tobacco products. And we can remember the trends when we were growing up, with people used to take dip and stuff like that. Well, that's kind of have gone away, and now e-cigarettes seem to be the trend for most of the youth that we're seeing coast to coast. Occurring to the use of e-cigarettes again, in 2024, e-cigarettes are most commonly used amongst high school students, middle and high school students. About 1.63 million, about 5.9% students currently use e-cigarettes. This includes 410,000 or 3.5% middle school students and about 1.2 or 7.8% high school students. A recent University of Georgia survey of Georgia teens revealed nearly 1 in 5 high school students admitted to vaping, but many people who work in the drug prevention programs say it starts much younger than that. And we have seen some of that here in our school district. Another thing we're seeing also at the state level, we know it's a state concern. House Bill 577 has cleared and is on to the Senate for discussion. But one of the things that they're trying to do is create a registry that will force compliance with the FDA laws and eliminate the availability of disposable flavored vapes that kids are using. And most of these things are targeted directly, as you will see shortly, to kids and teens. So we're combating trends as well as the products and their availability. THC for recreational use is not legal in Georgia. It's only in a few cities, Savannah, Macon, Athens, and Atlanta. So it's illegal here in Conyers, but again, we're seeing some of those trends. And if we can reflect back, a couple of years ago, we saw some high levels of uses of vapes and edibles at the secondary, kind of went away. Then we saw them at the primary grades, and we had some schools of concern. We addressed that. There were some cultural issues and some other things that we took care of. That went away, but now we're seeing a spike again at the secondary level. So here's one of the vapes that's common right now, and we can see it looks like a baby bottle. I don't know if kids still play with dolls, but I had G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip when I was growing up. But so we know that they're directly marketing these things to youth. This is a highlighter vape, and it's stated that this contains about as much nicotine as 50 cigarettes. And it's actually an actual highlighter, so it works. So if you can look at it closely, you'll see a line right above the writing. They'll take that part off, and that will reveal the vape portion, and that's what they will vape at. So again, we're combating trends, we're combating technology, and we're combating businesses that's directly marketing to kids. Smartwatch. So actual smartwatch that works. It lets you tell the time, but you can disengage it from the strap, and then you can see the portion that you would take the vape from at the top. Pins, looks like an actual functioning pin, but you would take the cap off. You see on the left-hand side, and then you'll insert the vape capsule, and then you can use the actual pin as a vape. And then edibles versus vapes, and I'll go down to the safety portion, and this was kind of surprising to me. Generally considered, vaping is considered safer than edibles is considered safer than vaping, and that was surprising to me. And I think that's because the edibles are more regulated as they're controlled when they're sold through dispensaries and stuff like that. And the vaping is not. The vaping is pretty much a one hit or one use, but we know that people are using them continuously. Again, going back to the other slide that speaks about the vape has about compared to about 50 cigarettes. And marijuana and edibles, and again, we're seeing some of this in our school district, and it looked like baked goods, snacks, cookies, brownies, cupcakes, popcorn, ice cream, and beverages. The Attorney General at Connecticut alleges that some of the replicate snacks containing cannabis exceed even the legal adult serving. If a child were to eat the entire bag, he or she would be consuming 120 times the maximum legal limit for adult. William Tong said in reference to a cannabis snack that resembles Cheetos contains 600 milligrams of THC. And I think our state limit for medical is about 10 milligrams. And I put here, can you tell the difference? So you would pretty much have to have a trained eye for some of these products that we're seeing around our state and in our schools. You'll see the Cheetos bag there that the Attorney General of Connecticut was speaking of, but some of it just looks like regular candy. And you'll see the little circle in the corner, and that's the only identifier that lets you know that it's THC or THC contained product. And then Chips Ahoy versus Trips Ahoy. And Kit Kat and Kush Kat. So these are some of the things that's trending from coast to coast. Again, this is not a problem unique to Rockdale. This is a problem statewide and nationally. But we are definitely trying to do things. We're trying to educate parents. We're sending letters home. We're working with law enforcement. But this is, when we talk about wraparound services, this is wraparound services starting at home. But we have to take care of this issue when it comes to our school district. And we're definitely seeing uptick. So the superintendent definitely wanted me to talk about that. And that's all I have, Madam Superintendent.
Thank you, sir. And before you leave, Mr. Green, thank you. I just wanted to say, board members, we are working in partnership with our law enforcement officers, officials. We met yesterday with Chief Freeman. We've had some ongoing conversations with Sheriff Levitt, and they have committed their resources to helping to tackle what you're seeing there, because as Mr. Green just mentioned, we are seeing that uptick. And so we felt that it was important to devote some time today to not only inform you, but to help educate our family members in our communities, because at first glance, you would think that those things are relatively harmless. Our kids are thinking those things are harmless, but we're finding that they are having some adverse reactions to these things that they're consuming. So we wanted to spend some time today here at our board meeting. But then at the same time as this is occurring, we're sending out another communication to all of our parents just to remind them to really sit down and look very closely at these items that the children are bringing home and that they're consuming, and to make sure that there's an understanding that these are prohibited items when they come to school. So we want to start first with the education, but we also want our parents and families to know that we will enforce our student code of conduct, because there's no place for these items to be on any of our school campuses. And so we're finding that they're bringing them. We want to make sure that they know first, but then we also give them the appropriate consequences when they do. So thank you for indulging us. If you want to check to see if you all have any questions for Mr. Green before we conclude.
Do y'all have any questions?
Darren, pardon my ignorance. Primary years, how are the children purchasing these items? I mean, I understand the secondary students who are older going to the stores, but at the primary level.
Great question, ma'am. I wish I could answer that honestly with an honest answer. And I don't know if it's because they have older siblings at home, or they're taking it from their parents, or whatever that may be. But they are getting their hands on it. And that's across the board on many things that they shouldn't have. But I wouldn't be able to give you an honest answer as to how, but we know that they are.
We're not worried about it being distributed in our buildings?
We definitely are. And as the superintendent mentioned, that's why we're working with law enforcement. That's why we're sending home those parent communications and asking parents to talk to their students about this and the dangers of it. We're seeing adverse effects because of this. And it's also because of this trend when we saw it a couple of years ago that we've seen the importance of making sure that our nurses and our school safety personnel were certified in Narcan, because we know that if you just get the wrong thing, it could be some deadly consequences and not just an upset stomach or elevated heart rate. So we definitely are taking precautions to ensure on the school side that we can do what's needed and necessary to keep our students and staff, for that matter, safe, because just touching fentanyl or something like that can cause an overdose and can be deadly. So we definitely want to educate on the school side, but we want to educate the parents as well through letters and correspondence of letting them know the dangers of and also talking to their children.
So gone are the days where you could share candies and food. I know before we had to think about allergies, but now it's a little bit more than just allergies, because kids are passing along some candy that they perceive to be those Kit Kats or those Skittles, and you can see they're laced with some of this THC. So we really want our parents to understand and to tell their kids not to accept food from others that they don't know, and things that are inappropriate, because like Mr. Green said, we're seeing kids who are having some adverse reactions to some of these things, and it's being passed along or brought into some of our schools. And so we want to nip it and nip it very quickly. But while we're doing that, we want to get on the front end as we're working with law enforcement to say, okay, let's make sure that there's a good understanding of what this looks like and what they contain. And then as we do that education portion, we want to make sure that the parents understand, our students understand that we will enforce our student code of conduct as these things are brought into our buildings.
Madam Superintendent, speaking of the student code of conduct, if a student were found to be in possession of edibles or a vape, what type of sanction may they suffer in the by RCPS?
It can be anything. Great question, sir. So it can be anything from OSS to long-term suspension or expulsion, depending on the nature or how much they had, or it could be arrest. So we have to understand there's different consequences. It could be school consequences. It could be law enforcement consequences. It could be school and law enforcement, or it could be no consequences. But it can actually be, to answer your question, from OSS to long-term suspension or expulsion or even arrest. We've had some felony arrests through law enforcement because of some of these things that enter into our schools.
And I wanted students and parents to hear that. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other questions?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it called? Narcan? Narcan?
Narcan, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do we have that in every school or just?
Yes, ma'am. So well, at one point, I'm not sure, so I can't speak for the school nursing staff, but at one point, all school nursing staff were certified in Narcan, as well as all school safety personnel, including everyone in my office, school safety personnel, and campus safety associates. So we have the ability to have it at every school. Hopefully that's still the case, but I know that at one point everyone was certified, and that goes back a couple of years. Now, if those certifications have been maintained or personnel have left the school system and we have backfilled those certifications, I wouldn't be able to definitively answer
Mr.
yes.
Green, I know Dr. Smith-Dixon is here. Dr. Smith-Dixon, can you answer that question for us, please?
So we did train them, but the actual, do we hold that? Or is that law enforcement only?
No, we actually work with law enforcement and the health department so that we actually have kits.
Oh.
Physical kits. So if you'll see my campus safety associates and my school safety personnel, they have an orange bag on their belt. And that holds the Narcan. I have some in my car as well as additional staff. Even our secretary, she was certified and has one at her desk in case we have an event here in the central office. So we've been trained across the school district. Now, again, if personnel left or those positions, those certifications weren't maintained with someone else, but we have a pretty good amount of people that are certified in Rockdale County Public Schools in Narcan.
And we have Narcan, and I think we do not know how much we have.
It's a kit.
Do we know how many kits we have and how many are assigned to each school?
I wouldn't know.
Get that for you, Mr. Cox. I'll ask Dr. Smith-Dixon to pull that information and I'll pass it along and share it with the board.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Could we also see which staff's certifications need to be updated?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So we'll make sure we compile that list, Dr. Smith-Dixon, and also the inventory that we have in locations in which all of those are housed, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
The board has reviewed the minutes for all board meetings held in February. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes for all board meetings held in February? Do I hear a second?
Second, Akita.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is approved by a 7-0 vote. There is no old business. There is no new business. Last week, the board voted to place numerous action items on a consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes, the action items under the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second, Akita Farmer.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? The motion is approved by a 7-0 vote. Do I hear a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters?
So moved, Justin.
Second, Heather.
So moved, Justin, second by Heather. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The motion is approved by a 7-0 vote. The time is now 8:21 p.m. and the board will come The time is now 8:35, and the board has come back into open session. Do I hear a motion to appoint Shirley Chesser as the superintendent of Rockdale County Public Schools from April 1st, 2025, and June 30th, 2026, from April 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, at a base salary of $230,000, subject to final approval of the contract.
So moved, Justin.
Second, Heather.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? The motion is approved by a 7-0 vote. With no further business to discuss, do I hear a motion to conclude the meeting?
Second, Justin.
A motion to conclude the meeting has been made by Heather and a second by Justin. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The meeting is concluded at 8:36 p.m. with a 7-0 vote.